Hello, kindergartners. Science magazine time. Our science magazine, like I said during attendance, is the science magazine Storms. Okay, while you're getting this out, we also are going to need our kindergarten red, first grade orange, second grade yellow, just second grade yellow today. We're not going to do any third grade in our magazine. So just these three colors, kindergarten, first, second, are warm colors in the rainbow. Purple punctuation and purple math symbol, black labeling line, and of course our science magazine. Then we're ready to go. Okay, looking at the cover, again, if you need a second, pause. We'll get started, but feel free to pause if you ever need to. Okay, this is a Time for Kids science magazine. The issue is called Storms. Find out about wild weather. The caption down at the very bottom corner here says, lightning strikes near a bridge in Alton, Illinois during a thunderstorm. Seeing some kindergarten words in there. Kindergarten red. Not seeing any in the first caption up here, but remember to look up here too because there are some words up there. Not seeing any in there right now. Okay. I'm going to kind of color my words in on my page so it's easier to see, because when I tried to underline my kindergarten words, you could not see it at all. So I kind of colored in my words here. Did you also find this many kindergarten words? Right, I found 3 too. A, in, and a. Those were the 3 I found. There's also a couple of first grade words that we have seen a few times. The first one is the very first word in this bigger caption. See, this one's kind of smaller text, and this is bigger text. The very first word is a first grade word we've seen a few times. It starts with an F. What word is that? Do you remember? Well, I heard it. Right. Find. Find is our first one. Find out about wild weather. Find. Would you please underline that with orange? Okay. The word right after find is also a first grade word. Do you remember? We've seen that one a couple of times too. I don't think quite as much as find, but we have seen this word before. It's the word out. Out. Find out are both first grade words. Would you underline that word as well? Wait a second. The next word is also a first grade word. 3 first grade words in a row. Find out, What word is that? Do you remember? We've seen it maybe once or twice. Find out, About. About. Find out about. Wild weather. Okay. We need some purple punctuation. You know the drill. Purple punctuation. Looking in the title and in both captions, both picture captions. Right. Exclamation point for storms. And then we also have a purple period after this caption. And let's see, did you find 2 curvy commas down here as well? Right, 2 curvy commas and a purple period. Okay, let's try and do our, I think our black will show up in this lighter gray color. So let's write, I'm going to write kind of in here, and I think you should be able to see it, but we'll try. First, my word that I'm going to underline is the word lightning. Lightning. That's the main, look at how big. It's so main. It's the main idea of this picture because it takes up so much of the picture. It says, lightning strikes near a bridge in Alton, Illinois during a thunderstorm. Lightning. So underlining that and pointing to the lightning strike. It's another way that you can say the strike. Oh yeah, you can see that. Look. Okay, and the other word I was thinking is lightning is such a big part of this picture, but you also need clouds when you have a big storm. So let's write the word cloud. Sounding out that word k, k. What are the two letters that could make the k sound? Right, a K or a C. And cloud starts with a C. Cloud. C. O. L. And now the next sound is a sound that we also hear in the word about. Cloud. Ow. Do you see the two vowels that make that about cloud sound? Ow. Do you see those two vowels? Right. O. And what's the second one? U. Those two letters are the letters that come next in the word cloud as well. About and cloud have those two letters that are the same. So would you please write the vowels O, U, cloud, and then our last sound is a D, right? Cloud, and then you point wherever you want to towards the cloud. And we're ready to open our science magazine. Okay, I'm gonna fold it so it's a little easier for you to see. Okay, looking at our science magazine, the top says wild weather. Wild weather. Ooh, those both start with a letter. What letter is that? W. Wild weather. Lightning flashes. Thunder booms. Rain falls. It's a storm. Storms and extreme weather happen all over the world in every season. Find out about different kinds of wild weather. I'm going to let you find the kindergarten words and the purple punctuation, of course, in this text right here. I'm going to let you do that on your own, looking for those kindergarten words. There's a couple of first grade words. We underlined two of them, or actually we've underlined three of them on the cover. What was this one again? Find out about. We also heard that in here. Find out about. So looking for those first grade words. There's also the word of in there. I saw the word of, two-letter word. So just kind of peeking around, seeing what words you recognize. Go ahead and pause the video for a second, finding those kindergarten words and the first grade words. Purple punctuation, of course. Pausing. Okay, now we're ready for our first text box. We're going to look at the blue text box first. You can kind of see this is my cloud marker from the cover. It's not part of the actual picture. Okay, let's look at this text box first. This is a hurricane. It is a big storm that forms over water. A hurricane brings heavy rain and wind when it hits land. Kindergarten, red. I'm seeing a few kindergarten words. Making sure to look in the title as well. Looking for those kindergarten words. Seeing. I'll have to count them afterward because there's quite a few actually. When you have underlined all your kindergarten words, will you flash me with fingers how many kindergarten words you found? Show me how many kindergarten words you found. Showing me. Did you find this many kindergarten words? Right, I found 8 as well. I found 8 kindergarten words. Let's read them together. Is, a, it, is, a, and it. Those were the 8 kindergarten words that I found. And now there's also a couple of first grade words. The very first word in the title is one that we've seen a few times. Remember we were talking about, I believe that was yesterday, about there's a lot of the sounding words in the first grade words. That, them, their, this word. What is this word? Do you remember? Right. The, is, this, and we see if we cover the sound, the th that makes that sound, there's a kindergarten word. And the next one is that word. This, underlining, orange. We got it. Okay. Also, in the first line under the title, first line, there's another the sounding word that is also a first grade word. A the sounding word that is also a first grade word. Did you hear my hint? Right, that word. Right, that word. What word is that? That. You're right. I was giving too many hints. Okay. Next one, we've seen a few times. I think last week we saw this word a lot. It starts with a W. We haven't seen it as much this week. W. Are you seeing that? W word? What word is that? Water. Right, we saw that a lot when we had all of those planting magazines and when we were talking about saving water and ways to save water. Okay. Our next first grade word is in the bottom line. The bottom line of our text. It starts with a w. What letter makes the w sound? W, and then H. So the first 2 letters in the word are w. Do you see it? Right, the word is when. When. Would you underline that word as well? Might see that a few times in the coming weeks in some of our word work, and we'll start seeing more of those words like this. Okay, purple punctuation. Oh wait, there is one word that we have seen before that is a 3rd grade word because we saw it in our IG family word book. It has a b sounding letter at the beginning. B, and it's an IG word. What word is that? Big, right. That's a 3rd grade. I didn't get my 3rd grade green out yet. Need to get that out because I just recognized it and realized that was an IG family word. We know IG family words, and we also know big is a 3rd grade word. So underlining big. If you need to take a second and get your green out, go for it. I didn't even have mine out yet. I totally forgot. Oops. Dropped my magazine. Okay, purple punctuation. We're ready. Seeing more than one purple punctuation. Did you also find 3? Right, I found 3 purple periods. Okay. black labeling line. Looking at our title, this is a hurricane. Hurricane is our main idea from this picture. It's almost the whole entire picture. Underlining, labeling line, you got this. There we go. And I was kind of thinking about yesterday when we were talking about nature's patterns. We were seeing the snail shells, their homes, we wrote that word for our labeling line. They had a swirl pattern on their shells. Are you seeing that swirl pattern in this picture of the hurricane? This is a bird's eye view of the hurricane. We are looking down. Our perspective is if we were looking down at the hurricane. So this picture is taken from way up high over the hurricane looking down. And you can kind of see that swirl pattern. So right around, maybe in this area right here, let's write the word swirl. What letter makes the S? Right. W, right? Kind of hard to see. R. L. Swirl. I'm going to put my labeling line right to the middle or the eye of the storm. That's another way to say the middle of a tornado or a hurricane is the eye of the hurricane or tornado. To show that's kind of where it starts, the swirl starts. Okay, let's look at let's look at text box and picture number 2. It's our red text box and picture frame. It says, it is a heat wave. These kids know how to stay cool. During a heat wave, the weather is very hot for many days. If you've ever been in a heat wave or think you've ever been in a heat wave, raise your hand. If you don't think you've ever been in a heat wave or know you've never been in a heat wave, raise your hand. Yeah, sometimes there are different places it's more common to have heat waves. I think last summer, we had a heat wave for a few days, just uncommonly high temperatures for Seattle for a long amount of days. I'm trying to remember if that was last year or maybe a few years ago. But it's not as common here, but in some other places, heat waves happen a lot more frequently. So, kindergarten, red. Seen a couple of kindergarten words. Ooh, I wonder if this is going to have more or less than what the text that we just did. More or less than. Looking through, I think I got them all. Okay, I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, so thinking about this as a subtraction problem, since we've been talking about subtraction in our math workbooks, if we had 8 in our first text box, we had 8. And we need to find out the difference between the other one that had 7. We could do 8 minus 7 to find the difference. Let's go minus 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many's left? Right. There is a difference of 1 between the first text box and the second text box, using subtraction to help us figure that out. Okay, so let's read through our kindergarten words. It is a, the, is. Okay, there's also some first grade words in this. Oh, just realized something. Silly Miss Sorensen, that's why I didn't have my green out. I realized that our caption here, our first one that we did, I said big was a third grade word. Silly Miss Sorensen. That was my bad. It's a second grade word. You probably already knew that. If you have your second grade out, would you just go over your green with yellow? That was my bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was too excited. I thought big was the third grade word. It's a second grade word. We need yellow, not green. Would you, if you have a second, just go over that green with yellow? You can't. I'm going to go over big with yellow. So you know. I went all the way over it like I highlighted it. That is a second grade word. I highlighted it so you extra know. Okay. First grade words though. Back to our red. Looking at our first, do you recognize any first grade words before we start, before I say any of them? Do you recognize any? I see a couple of people. Yeah, you're seeing that the sounding word. Remember how we talked about there's a lot of the sounding words in first grade? These is a first grade word. Orange. Got it. Okay. Our next first grade word is in the second part of the title. So we have the first part, the first line of the title and the second line. Our next kindergarten word is in this line, and it starts with an H. It starts with an H. What word do you see in this line that starts with an H? Do you know that word? How. Right. How. That is also a first grade word. Please underline that with orange. How. How. And then another first grade word in this sentence is the word, where is it? I just saw it. Let me double check. Oh, there it is. Oh, my eyes kept going over it and I didn't see it. Our next first grade word is in the bottom line and it ends with the word or. How do you spell the word or? Right, O-R. It's a 3-letter word and the last 2 letters are the letters O-R. Do you see that word in the last line? Right, what letter does it start with? An F. F-O-R. The word is for. Underlining for. Okay, we are ready for some purple punctuation. And then you can do purple punctuation, and then I realized there's also a second grade word that we can underline. So first do your purple punctuation. Did you also find 4? Exclamation point, purple period, curvy comma, purple period. Okay, will you take out your yellow? The second grade word that I'm seeing in this text box is the word very. Would you point to the word very in the last line of our text box? Very. What letters does that start with? A V, right? Very. Right there. It is very hot for many days. Okay, underlining very. There's our second grade word, and I just checked for sure it is a second grade word. Okay, black labeling line. The main idea for this picture, I think, is the word cool, because these kids are trying to stay cool in this picture because it's hot outside. So underlining cool. Cool can mean temperature. Something is cool or cold, or cool could be like, that's really cool, like exciting or interesting. This, they're meaning temperature-wise. They're trying to get cool because it's hot outside. Cool. Okay, the word that I want us to write, since we've seen this word so many times recently, and it's a first grade word, so we could even underline it if we wanted to too. It's the word water. First grade word, water. They're using water to get cool. I'm gonna write it right up here. Our first letter that we need is a W. 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 A. Right? You're remembering all those times we've underlined. W. T. And we know that it's not just W-A-T-R, water. There's another letter before the R. What are the last two letters in water? Yeah, if you wanted to look here, you could look. There. Right, E-R. Would you please end your word with an E and an R? And then you can point to whatever part of the water you would like to for your labeling line. Okay, we're ready for the third text box and framed picture. It is green. This is a tornado. It is a powerful storm. It looks like a cone-shaped cloud. It has wind speeds of up to 300 miles an hour. It makes a roaring noise. Wow, a roaring noise. Okay, I'm seeing some kindergarten words. Underlining. Ooh, I already saw a first grade word that we've underlined a few times. Seeing lots of kindergarten words. And first grade words. Wow, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a lot of kindergarten words. Let me just double check. There's so many. I want to make sure that I have them all. Yeah, I found 13 kindergarten words. Let's go over them. Is a, it is a, it, up to, an, it, a. There was a lot of it is a's in that sentence, or a few sentences. Okay, first grade word. We know the first one, the very first word, we've already seen it. It's the word, what is that word? This, right. Underline. This. And, oh, I'm seeing a word we saw a few times last week. It has an S at the end. It starts with an L. When we underline it, normally it doesn't have an S at the end, but I think that we can underline this word because we've seen it so many times. It starts with an L. It's in this area. My floppy magazine here. Looks like starts with an L. Has two of the same vowels in the middle. Do you see it? Point to the word that I'm talking about. Right. The word is looks in our magazine. Look is our first grade word. We've seen it so many times that I think we can underline it. Looks. Right. S at the end, but we know L-O-O-K is the word look. Okay. And then, oh, I saw the word, I think we've already underlined, not on this page, but we've underlined before, the word has. It's in the third line, or the third sentence. There's our first sentence, second sentence, third sentence. Do you see the word has? Right. It also has a kindergarten word if we took away the H at the beginning. Has. Underlining. Has. And our last word that we are underlining is a 2-letter word. It's a first grade word. It's on the bottom line. Do you see that word? Right, of. Of is our word. Okay, purple punctuation. I found 5 purple periods. Did you also find 5 purple periods? Right. Okay. Black labeling line. Looking at our title, this is a tornado, right? We underline hurricane here. This is a tornado. Underlining, pointing. Now I want you to find the next labeling line yourself, looking in the picture, finding that another thing that we could label in the picture. We could label sky, trees, houses, wind. You decide. And then I will read this with you, but I also want you to find the kindergarten words, the first grade words, and the purple punctuation, as well as 2 labeling lines in this text box as well. It says, "This is a thunderstorm. Clouds grow dark. They are low in the sky. There will be lightning, thunder, and strong rain. Sometimes thunderstorms bring strong wind and even hail." I would not want to be caught outside in a thunderstorm. Okay, so remember, finding our normal what we do. And then at the bottom, it says science scoop. Scientists who study the weather are called meteorologists. They use maps, satellites, and other tools to get information. Interesting. And on the back side, it says weather watch. You can use this weather forecast to answer the questions on the bottom. Okay, we're done with our science magazine. There was a lot of words in this science magazine, so it took us a little longer than normal. But nice work going through and very careful underlining. I saw lots of looking very hard in all of those sentences for kindergarten and first grade words. So nice work. Okay, I'll see you in a second for our magazine response. Bye, everyone.